But looking at internships in Africa, do we think that is the way to go to resolve the skills gap, the unemployment, news, information that we are gathering across the continent? Interesting topic we'll be having today: internships.
Wow.
Internship. What comes to mind when we talk of internships? Sufferings. Interesting. Why?
Sacrifices.
Sacrifices.
There's no way one can fill any space if you don't have the skills. No matter your qualifications, no matter the knowledge that you have, if you don't have the necessary skills to fill in a certain gap at a particular point in time, it's irrelevant. It's very necessary for us to build our skills as young people or young leaders of Africa, to empower us to acquire the necessary knowledge that we need to move forward.
Sure, what do you think?
I think that when you finish university, you are in a certain state, or you have been shaped in a way. Now you have to fit into the work environment. Now what will make you fit? That's the most important. Either it's internship or volunteering or mentoring. That one is up to you, or up to your circumstances to define it. Because sometimes you may go to an internship and not learn anything. Been making photocopy, been serving coffee to your boss, not being paid, and you will only be frustrated and be filling your CV. So I believe that it depends on the nature of the internship. Because internship for the sake of doing internship may be useless, and it may be a way for organization and company to take advantage of the free labor available on the market.
I will just build on what you just said there, and I think I will retract a bit, because if you want to wait to finish your university program before you take on an internship, normally, if I understand well, most academic programs, university programs on the continent, there is usually a summer break of 2 months, 3 months, and I think that is the period when you can start engaging yourself, and doing things to gather the skills that you need, So I think it comes before even the university program comes to an end. So we need to start getting our younger brothers and ourselves, to start thinking of the time we have, creating that time to fit ourselves in those work or ideal workspaces we hope to be in, so that we start gaining the skills. And I hope they will not be sending us to make coffee and photocopies,
Yeah, I totally agree with Jim, because I personally experienced it. I believe that after vacation, the time that a lot of people, a lot of young people use staying at home doing nothing, is very important for people to engage themselves in organizations or whatever. That is where you start the learning process. There are a lot of things that are not being taught in school. You either learn it the hard way or you learn it on the field. And that is the only opportunity for you to learn. And so I would like to encourage young people or students who are still in school to equip themselves to try and make good use of the time that they use in other things that might not be relevant to their personal development or self-development, and engage themselves in internship and volunteer. It pays.
It pays.
I believe also that both universities and companies have a role to play. First of all, universities should make it in such a way that internships are compulsory and part of the learning experience. Because we realize that what you learn in a classroom setting may not be enough. So university must be aware that there's a need for students to go on the field to acquire extra knowledge. So therefore, this university should kind of prepare the ground for these students before they are going, establish some contacts with companies, start cultivating this habit of going on internship during vacation, and why not include it as part of their marking scheme. so that you have your normal marking scheme, but also during vacation, when you go in internship, based on the kind of report your supervisor gives to you, you include it to your marks, and it gives your total marking for the year. But also, company on their side must make a deliberate effort to allocate human resources and time to groom these interns, because you go to a certain company and nobody has time for you. And even company where usually people have time for you, you can come to a period of time where everybody is busy and genuinely they just have time to watch you or involve you in this activity. Because you are new, you may delay the process, and so therefore they feel like, oh, well, you don't worry, we'll find something to do for you, but let us just quickly run it. So I believe it should be a deliberate effort, because a lot of people comes out of university, they are not ready, company don't want to hire them, and you end up saying that we want a 22 years old worker with 10 years of experience. Where will he get this 10 years?
That's quite interesting, because it brings to the fore, whose responsibility is it to provide these internship opportunities. And you focused on universities, companies, and I think it's beyond, it's all sectors, including ourselves, including the university students. So I think like the NGOs, how many NGOs do we have in Benin, in Ghana, in Cameroon, in Nigeria? How many NGOs do we have? So I think it's very important, for all these entities within the different sectors in society, even the churches. Look at how many churches do we have? Just recruit them as secretaries. No, not ushers. As secretaries, as finance controllers. To be able to calculate the offerings. Of a day, do a balance sheet per month. How much went for electricity bills? How much went for free giving? How much went to fuel the pastor's car? Those are practical things you can learn even in the church. So I think all of these sectors should do it. But most importantly, I would like to throw the ball into the court of prospective interns. They should be proactive. Go out there. The world today is a jungle, and it's survival of the fittest. So if you sleep and you are suckling your mother's breast, the opportunities will not come and meet you.
Definitely.
They will not come and meet you. Or even if your fathers cook it, put it on your mouth and even push it down your throat to swallow, there will come a time in that work environment that you will not be able to survive because you didn't go through those hurdles. So I would challenge them to, one, be proactive and be assertive. When you go there, take every moment, even if they are sending you to make coffee, put your heart in making coffee to become espresso. Do the best so that when you come out of there, 3 weeks of making coffee, you can even open your own roadside restaurant and become an entrepreneur. If you're being sent only to photocopy, you can leave from there and you develop a manual on how to operate Canon 404 photocopy machine and sell even for $1. Before, the thing is, I think it's basically the opportunities are scarce. Whatever opportunity they give you, whether good or bad, exert yourself, bring out the best in you, and make the most out of these opportunities. With that, it will help internships to really be a good conduit, for curbing unemployment. But the interesting thing, that I think, there is this issue of funding, internship allowance. In Ghana, they will call it sole. To mention that. Something shishi. Which I think is important. But to you, I just want to pick your minds. Must internships be paid for? And should interns only look out for internships that give something for the qua?
I have a very interesting opinion on that, because as much as interns and young graduates are willing to gather work experience, companies are willing to tap into free labor. I think there should be a balance, because you can go to some company, one, they don't pay you. I remember my first internship, even though it wasn't paid at all, and my distance to go to the workplace, go back, it was quite stressful. Thank God I had the chance to have an accommodation after some few weeks, and I had other support. So I have in mind someone who doesn't have all these supports, who is supposed to take transportation to go to the workplace, come back, spend his time, and the organization is not willing to invest in that person, not necessarily by paying him, but actually transferring knowledge to that person, and let that person be in the organization, going through this hustle and coming out without, first of all, no money, no skills, and wasting like 3 months, I think is not fair. Because company has tendency of tapping into free labors. They just want free labors and they don't give the opportunity. But if companies rather invest in that person in that intense way within them, there's this sense of loyalty. You may not think about it right from the beginning, but after building the capacity of that person, he must be even one of the best employee within the organization in some few years, because you have given him that chance, you have given him the opportunity of improving himself, and you have given him this platform to grow professionally. And I think it's very important.
If I take it from there, someone may infer that, okay, if we don't have money to give, we should not take interns.
No.
Is that, what do you think?
No, I don't think that should be the case, but I think organizations can always consider the way they handle their interns. Even if you can't pay the intern, if you support them with something little like transportation or feeding allowance, it will support and even encourage the person to commit more. That is not to say if you are not giving anything, you shouldn't commit yourself to work. However, I think it will best motivate the person. As a form of motivation, I would like to challenge organizations to try and commit a little to these individuals who are also sacrificing their time and personal skills to the development of the organization.
That is quite interesting, because I've got double perspectives. Oh, these young people of nowadays, they will come and disturb you. We want to volunteer, we want to do internship. Then at the same time, they are asking for money, and huge sums of money. Then you meet another young person who is saying, can you imagine they took me, and even transport money, only transport money, they could not even give. So where do we strike the balance?
I think organizations should have a threshold for things like this. The intern should not be the one to tell you what you should give. Organizations should have threshold for things like this.
So if they don't have,
there is a need for it. It is possible they can do it. Let's reconscientize ourselves and try to take some of these things into considerations, because it's also necessary.
I believe if they don't have, bill him. For now, he's coming with no skills. You don't have money to pay at least his transportation. Give him the skills for him to be valuable for the company. Once he have that skill and he's valuable, then you monetize it, and then you start paying him. But I insist on that skill. Companies sometimes don't transfer skills to their interns, and it's very sad. Because I can go to an internship and don't earn anything, but the same fact that, today I will learn something new. Today I've been involved in this activity. Today I'm sure I will be part of this meeting. I will learn something which will allow me to grow. Then I will forget about all these things, and even if I have to go for my parent, friend, actually I need this small money because my internship is hard, I will make sure to get it as long as I gain something, and this thing is not necessarily monetary.
Good.
That draws my mind to a question. How young or how old is it for somebody to go for an internship or volunteer? I'm asking this question because sometimes there's this general perception. People feel if you are volunteering for an organization, then it means you are not matured enough, or you are there to just support in running photocopies or going for errands.
Or a 50-year-old volunteer, how does it look like?
Oh my God. Well, but it's interesting, but I think I would say there is really no age limit for it. I remember reading a story of somebody above the age of 80 going back to school to do secondary school, and college even in the US. So personally, I would say there is really no age limit. It's just what new skill do you seek to get, and then who can offer that, and then you make yourself available, and hopefully they will take you. But the key thing I think we should brainstorm around or share is because sometimes you receive applications for internships, one page, name, hobby, father's name, mother's. It's almost like a summary of your birth certificate. What should prospective interns develop and put out there to make themselves attractive to be given those opportunities?
One thing I I would recommend is objectives. You should have your personal objective for applying for the internship. If you don't have an objective, then it means you are not ready to earn or learn anything at the end of the day. So there's a need for you to consider your objectives and what is actually motivating you to take on that program.
And you, Shamrin, have you ever had the experience of maybe being or hearing about a prospective intern with a one-page CV?
My personal example.
Oh, you? Interesting.
I was this kind of intern.
Okay.
Even half-page CV. It was so
But
beautiful. Even
now, you've grown from a half-page CV owner to maybe a 10-page CV, 4 pages, okay, 4 pages. So what advice will you give to our kid brothers, when they want to package themselves, to be able to be sellable?
Okay, so when you are going for an internship, most of the case you have only your academic experience and you want to go into the professional world. What you must do, we are blessed to have internet. Please make some search. Try to look for what are the standards within the professional environment. Look for what CVs look like and prepare yourself. Don't just go and throw yourself. Don't wait for the last minutes of the call for application to apply and all this thing. No. As a colleague will say, do your homework right. Search, have all your data, and of course, as Pepe say, have a plan, have some objectives, have some kind of career you envisage to have, and therefore kind of identify the kind of skill you want to gather during your internship, and this will help you shape your CV, shape your motivation letter, and also the organization you are targeting. Make a lot of analysis on it. What is their mission? What is their vision? Their values? Their objectives? Who is working there? Go and check on their website, their Facebook page, their LinkedIn account. If you are now starting and you don't have a LinkedIn account, please go and register on LinkedIn. Facebook, Instagram are nice, but LinkedIn is more suitable for the professional world. Register and see, look, you can cheat on people. Copy and paste at the beginning if you want. And with time, tweak it. Copy, tweak and paste. That's the way to go at the beginning. And with time, you will gather more skills and you'll be better at it.
And adding to what Shamri just said, I think the youth of today, we are too comfortable using one CV to apply for almost everything that
a mechanic, you use the same CV. A teacher, you use the same CV. A cook, you use the same CV.
There is a need for us to try and sieve our CVs for different portfolios that we are applying for.
Definitely.
You should know the CV you are sending to this organization. If it's a business entity, you know that this CV is suitable for this organization. If you are sending for maybe an entrepreneurial program, then you should have different CVs. You should prepare yourself to always write different CVs for different portfolios. Don't always depend on one CV, that special CV you have prepared for yourself to apply for any position at all. So the youth of today should also consider that it's very necessary.
Very necessary. You heard it. Take the pieces of advice and we will be with you soon. Ciao.